in English. Even at this, what's it called, Sabo, you can ask, there's a guy, Mr. Kunle, he sells some of his texts. Or you can go to Yaba, you buy it now. Buy the text. Your exam can still be, thinking from April 25th to May 5th, something like that. Yeah. You still have time now. If you could use like 1 week, 1 week is even too much, have you? Uh-huh. Yeah, use 2 days and cover the book now. Use 2 days to cover the book. Yeah. Okay. So we have radar of, yes, of the treasure trove. Radar of the treasure trove. Lade Osunu. So we're going to be considering the poem itself. That is, we're going to be reading the poem. Two, we're going to be looking at the subject matter of the poem, which is basically what Jamb will be asking you. So if you understand the poem very well, you look at the subject matter, okay? Then you look at the poetic devices. It is possible that when you're reading the poem, you can actually be picking out the poetic devices too. Yeah, you can be doing that. If you're very good with poetic devices, you can be doing that too. And then we'll look at the themes, thematic structure, thematic structure of the poem. Okay? Yeah, look at the thematic structure of the poem. So basically, yes, poem, subject matter, poetic devices, yeah, themes, yes. So you never see questions on stanzas. Nobody will ask you how many stanzas the poem has. No. Eh, ah, except if it's usually sonnet. Sonnet, yes. Sonnet. One, especially if it's usually sonnet. Yeah. Sonnet. For a particular poem. So you need to really know. I think about six African. This is the sixth one I'm treating. There are six African poetry. So this is actually the sixth one, the sixth poem. So you need to like know all the six. Yeah, even the names too. When you see, you need to know the. Okay, the one which this person wrote this one. Maya Angelou wrote this one. John Mon wrote the other one. The um yes. Mm, okay. Tone is just basically referring to the attitude of the poet. Okay. The mood has to do with you, the reader. Okay. Yeah, the reader. Why tone is basically the poet. The mood has to do with, yes, the feelings. If you finish reading a poem, what effect will it have on you? What feeling? So it has to do with feelings or emotion. Yes, the feeling and emotions of the reader. Okay, of the reader. How do you feel? Okay, okay, and then you consider diction too. You know, diction. Check the diction. Diction has to do with the choice of word of the poet, Abi, or the poet's choice of word. The poet's choice of words. So these are common things that you need to practically pay attention to. So let's go. So the poem, radar. Now pay attention. Radar here means deprivation, to steal something from. Okay, yeah, radar, you know, taken away from. And look at treasure trove. Treasure trove are good attributes like happiness, joy. You understand? Happiness, have joy, have kindness. Those are treasure trove. Now make meaning from it. Radar of the treasure trove. Now, and and what is the emphasis of that radar according to Lade was, anger or rage. Exactly. So anger, look at it. Anger being a radar steals a lot of things. Steals happiness, joy, kindness, and all of that. Okay. The poet is emphasizing that if as humans we cannot manage our anger, do you understand? Or we cannot sustain or mind the way we behave towards others or allow anger to take control, do you understand? It will definitely deprive one of happiness, joy, kindness. That is, anger or rage has effect in everything that every human being does. Controls temperament. Anger will influence the temperament. Do you understand? Anger will even influence utterance, the way you speak to. So that's basically what the poet is emphasizing. That's basically what the poet. So if you look at it from the context of the title, anger is a radar, that helps to deprive, take away from, okay, or steal from the treasure trove. Treasure trove is just indicating an abundance of pleasurable things, good things. Abi? So that's why some title of a poem, if you focus on it, if you look at it very, very well, you can make meaning from it, even before reading the poem itself. You understand? Now, look at the first stanza. It said, but what can be worthy of your life? You understand? Now, if you're reading, you're also working on what? Poetic devices. What's that first line there? Rhetorical question. Abi? Good. So, but what can be worthy of your life? What's dearer than the gems of your dreams? The reason you are here, always strive to fly flags of joy and sail up upstream. Now, what is the tone in that first stanza? Can you guess? The first stanza we just looked at. What is the tone? Is the poet happy? Is the poet sad? Is the poet indifferent? Is the poet sarcastic? When they ask me, if Jam is asking you about the first stanza, they will illustrate the first stanza there now. It will be displayed on the screen there. You will see it. And they'll ask you, what is the tone of this particular first stanza? I already explained to you tone, mode, and diction. You need to know what. So from there, though they will give you option. See happiness, sadness, sarcastic, indifference. Those are the options you will see, and then you pick a particular. Okay. Now, stanza 2. Powered by the breeze of love, your curse chattered in the ink of compassion and flings roses wherever you pause. Okay. Heaven on earth, your destination of things which would blot out that breathe. Or breach your sails with arrows unseen, nor rob you of your life. Rage is chief. All right. So rage is chief. What poetic device is that? A correct metaphor. It is metaphorical in nature. Understand? Rage is chief. Okay. Now remember, the poet is acknowledging that rage can rob you of your life, can destroy anger, temperamental nature, cantankerous, a very bad quality in every human being, be it a man or a woman. Okay, said rage drags rags after you. That's the embarrassing part of it. Rage drags rags after you. Now said of charity, laughter, sweetness, and light. Rage is what? Thief. That is, rage steals all of these things. Laughter, sweetness, and light. Even of charity. Abi, rage steals all of that. So rage is thief. Is also what? Is also metaphorical. That's metaphor. Enemy of equanimity. Can you see that now? Rage would not make any human being, expressing all form of equalness or doing things in an equal manner. Said rage spreads toxic fumes on every scenes. Abi, and that's true. In essence, rage spells calamity, and that's true. Okay, its cause is your perception of storms breaking around, not upon your head. There are neither snakes, deviants, nor norms. As you think, so you feel. You see, as rage. As you think, so you feel. All right. What poetic device is that? Simile, correct. Okay. Watch your mind. Rage sets sail, can ruin lag far behind. I will fling roses wherever I birth. My destination is heaven on earth. All right. So here, if you look at this, the poet condemns every form of anger. And the poet went ahead to illustrate all the negative consequences of anger. Is that not? So, and then made it understood that human beings should try as much as possible to exercise tolerance, compassion, patience. Okay. Now I'm going to illustrate the subject matter. The reason I usually write is so that anytime you pick up your book, you can still see it there. So the subject matter. This is the subject matter. Okay. The poet portrays the negative effects, or consequences of anger in every human's life. Every human's life. As a result, rage is a thief of joy, love, and happiness. Full stop. Okay. Rage robs off. Rage robs off the good and essential, qualities that a person possesses. Rage robs off the good and essential qualities a person possesses. This poem is a call to refrain from all forms of temperamental acts. This poem is a call to refrain from all forms of temperamental acts. It is duly advisable from the poem to maintain it is duly advisable from the poem to maintain a life of heaven on earth, which was what the poet was emphasizing. Heaven on earth. Now the next part, poetic devices. Poetic devices. Poetic devices. So we have a lot of them. Number one, rhetorical question. I don't know if you're still copying. Rhetorical question. Rhetorical question. That's from line 1. 2, metaphor. Metaphor. Simile. Yeah. So there was enjambment. You know what it means? Run online. Run online. Was hyperbole used? Okay. Hyperbole. 6. Any other one? Then you can now look at mode and tone. Okay. Then you now come to themes. The themes, thematic structure. What are the themes there? The negative impact of rage, Abby. Negative impacts of anger. 2. Another thing, the need for essence of life. 3, positive attitude to things. Positive attitude to things. So if one has positive attitude to things, that will devoid of anger. Then 4, consequences of anger. Okay, it's part of negative impact. Yeah, give me one more. Yes. Reward for good morals. Okay, so these 4 themes are okay. 4 are okay. So we've looked at all of this. Okay. So by 23rd, as on Wednesday, we'll cover more. Cover more. So all the African poetry, six of them, covered them. So we'll look at non-African poetries too. We can be reading the prose. Rest assured, I'll cover the poems. Then for the past questions, we're able to cover three: reading comprehension, synonyms, antonyms. So we'll continue with rhymes and the rest of them by next week. I just pray your exam should be towards that 2nd of May so that you have enough time. No, now I want to quickly go and rush and do. Don't rush and do. This is 1 year thing. No, it's not like after you finish writing, the next 1 month you write another one. No, I'm just looking at how you could keep preparing. You just want to write and go and relax. You're coming for post TME, Nabi. Invite your friends when you're coming for post TME. You don't make friends. How will you not have friends? Which one is you don't have friends? Your Muslim friends, come tell them. You don't go to mosques. Are people not in the mosques? You just pray to God and you come back. It's not. How do you preach Allah to people? Is it not by talking to them? Or what do you people used to do if you don't preach?